Half-sister claimed she had no other dress to wear, but her own wedding dress. Back in 2016, my brother announced that he and his girlfriend of many years were engaged and were planning on having a wedding the following year. They gave 9 months' notice at least to people who would be invited, and also told what the color theme for the wedding would be: purple. In that time between the announcement and the wedding date, I was easily able to order a dress from an online retailer in London, have it sent to me, and still had time to replace if I needed. I did not. 2017 comes, and the wedding weekend has arrived. I live in a different state to my brother, as my mom and I moved from our hometown back in 2013, so we both had to travel across the ocean back to the mainland to attend the wedding. The wedding was absolutely gorgeous. Sunny day on the beach, I couldn't help but cry because my work of a brother was actually marrying the mother of his children and love of his life. He had never seemed happier. John and Jane had 3 kids together already, and the older 2 were flower girls, which was sweet. Now, John is technically only my half-brother. We share a mom but not a dad yet growing up. My dad who raised John and I, so to him, my dad was his dad. My dad, prior to marrying my mom, had a first wife and couple kids with that wife, including Susan. John and I have always had some issues with Susan. She was only my half-sister, not John's, but he still included her in the wedding and such as a family member and guest. I hadn't noticed at the time, as I was too caught up in the whirlwind of my brother's wedding ceremony, but Susan wasn't wearing purple. No, she was wearing white. To be specific, she was wearing her white wedding dress to someone else's wedding. John and Jane were pissed. Especially Jane. Cue reception. Some people have changed clothes. It was my first ever wedding, so I didn't think that far ahead and still wore my soft lilac dress without a problem, while everyone ate and shared some drinks, interacted with the bride and groom, what I assumed to be normal wedding things. But Susan, oh Susan. She was feeling extremely sad and lonely because no one was paying attention to her. The 30-plus-year-old woman who wore her wedding dress to someone else's wedding. I wonder why no one wanted to interact with her. Susan began crying maybe halfway through reception, openly, loudly, and in a way that clearly begged for someone to come notice her. I'm a nice person, so I tried to be the good half-sister I should be and bit the bullet to go sit with her for a little while, ask her what's wrong. Susan, no one is paying attention to me! Me, while staring at her, confused a little. What do you mean, Susan? Everyone is talking with John and Jane, but no one is talking to me, and when I try to speak with John and Jane, they don't talk to me. I sighed internally and couldn't help but wonder how she didn't connect the dots. Me, Susan, it's their wedding. Of course everyone is going to be talking to them and they're going to be busy. Susan, I don't care. I'm John's sister, so he should talk with me more. Actually, lady, you're not his sister. I am. But okay, whatever. I was able to slip away and spent time with some other family who weren't acting as if this day was all about them. After the ceremony, Jane admitted to me she was livid about how Susan wore the wedding dress. She had plenty of time to plan for the wedding and get appropriate attire, but when finally confronted, Susan said she had no other dress she could wear. This is perhaps a boring tale to most, but even nearly 4 years later, I'm still pissed at my half-sister for doing that. My mom, John, and Jane are also pissed about it still. I've since cut contact with Susan. Her and I never had a good bond anyway, and as far as I could see it, we just shared a dad, but I almost never had to deal with my dad's previous family. As far as I know, John and Jane have limited contact with her, but that can't be helped as they live in the same city as her now, while I happily live in a place where an ocean is between me and her. Story 2. Impatient Karen loses her job. Out of my 10-plus years working retail and various other jobs, I've only ever had to deal with one mystery shopper, and her actions cost her the job. For those not in the know, a mystery shopper is a person assigned by the company to make random, unannounced inspections with regards to customer service and, in general, the well-being of the company employees and the store. Also, it is customary for the mystery shopper to blend in with everyday customers and not bring attention to themselves in a way that can be misconstrued as just another obnoxious and rude customer, i.e. act like a douche, get treated like a douche. This woman didn't get that memo. One day around lunchtime, my boss was in the back having her lunch. I was out on the shop floor and serving customers. An unusually high amount, but nothing that I couldn't handle on my own, since my coworker wasn't going to be in later, when in walks this Karen. As I was serving the queue of customers, I half-heartedly said, "Hi, welcome to," I was hungry. While still serving and ringing through items. K. And under her breath, it's polite to make eye contact. Alarm bells. She hums and haws while I'm making my way cautiously and correctly through the remaining customers, all the while she's making daggers and eventually storms off in a huff looking around. Like I can come away from paying customers, just to help her. As the last 2 customers make their way to the till, she joins the queue with a whole 2 items with an audible, "Oh, FFS!" The customer I'm serving looks at me with a WTF expression, and I nod. Not even 1 minute in. K, this is F***ing ridiculous. Finalizing the payment before moving on to the next customer, the till decides to freeze and it takes a few minutes for it to reboot. I make my apologies, and the customer I'm serving is fine with it along with the customer behind. Louder? K. Oh, FFS. The service in this establishment, she was posh, is absolutely F***ing ridiculous. I had enough. With my best but pissed off customer service voice and smile, I said, "Me. Listen, as you can clearly see, I'm dealing with other customers. I'm the only staff member on the floor as my boss is at lunch. The till has decided to not play nice, and to be perfectly honest with you, I am well within my rights to refuse you service and ask you to leave as your attitude absolutely stinks." K. What? You can't talk to me that way. Don't you know who I am? Me. I really don't care, to be honest. Now I am once again asking you to leave. She storms off in the foulest mood you ever did see. The customer I am serving says, "Thank Christ you said something. I was ready to smack her." We both laugh and I finish both services and thank them for their patience. They both worked in another store where we were based. My boss has finally finished her lunch at this point and has come through the front. Boss, B. "Oh, I meant to say there's going to be a mystery shopper in at some point. Don't know who, but please be on your best behavior." "Oh." I quickly tell her what happened and explained that I was busy, but not too busy, that I needed to involve her and the conversations as it happened. And lo and behold, just as I'm finished telling her, in walks the regional manager, RM, for the company. "RM, OP back office, now!" I'm dead. Now knowing that the RM has a tendency to be a hothead in these situations, I was *****ing bricks at this point. Thankfully, I have had a reasonably good working relationship with him up until this point, so it really could go anyway. RM. Unusually calm. What happened? I explain everything. From the moment she entered to the moment she stormed off, almost taking the door with her, and the fact that I had witnesses that worked in the immediate vicinity. The full shebang. RM. Sighs, nods. I'm finally glad that someone else has the balls to stand up to my wife. What? The look on my face said it all, and he starts to laugh. RM, please, accept my apologies, and I will let B know that there's not to be any repercussions of this. And I think it's time to let my wife know it's time to find more suitable employment. Me. Speechless, mutters T. Thanks. He hands me a £1.20 gift card for the mall's cafe and said lunch was on him. The best coffee and chicken bacon club sandwich I ever had.